Hi there, I'm Gwen Strum. I'm the Outpatient Lactation Coordinator and Community Outreach Coordinator here at KSB. I wanted to talk to you guys about some existing classes that we have for our maternity population, as well as some new classes and resources that we are offering to patients. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. The first thing that I want to talk about is actually our existing childbirth classes. And I'm going to turn that over to one of our current childbirth educators. Her name is Haley Poser, and she's going to be able to tell you guys what to expect if you were to attend one of those classes and hopefully be able to answer any questions that you might have. So here is Haley Poser.
Hi, everyone. I'm Haley Poser. I am one of the inpatient OB nurses over on labor and delivery here at KSB, and I have a huge passion for childbirth education. This is one of the only areas of the hospital most people want to be. And so I think really good preparation into your childbirth experience is not only going to help you feel more empowered in your birth, but it is also going to help ease any anxiety you have in the upcoming days, weeks, months leading up to your birth. The first thing that we usually talk about in childbirth class is kind of what to expect here at KSB, specifically to KSB. You can research what childbirth is like, but a lot of times it depends on the different hospitals. So we talk about what to expect at KSB a lot. Now, this is not your typical, you might hear childbirth class and think of Lamaze or breathing. We do talk about coping mechanisms such as breathing techniques, but we talk specifically all throughout your stay about KSB. So we talk about what to expect at KSB. And then we talk about as well kind of the progression of labor, what to expect, what labor means, what the difference, for example, between Braxton Hicks contractions and real contractions are. And then we also will talk about postpartum and kind of how to take care of your baby, things to expect as you are leaving the hospital, when to call us back in emergency situations. We really covered most of your questions about the childbirth experience. We try to do some hands-on position changes. We utilize our birthing balls, and we show you real life techniques to labor coping. One thing that we also talk about is the birth videos of both vaginal and C-section deliveries. So we show kind of that real life, what to expect for people who have never been a part of any birth experience. We also give a tour of our OB department, which is really nice because I think it helps eliminate some of that anxiety that leads up to where am I going to go when I get to the hospital. Especially because this is a new experience for first-time parents as well. We do have your support person pretty involved. We like to give them jobs in childbirth class. And so we kind of, as we're going about, we'll say, this is a job for your support person. And so it's really helpful to bring whoever your support person will be in labor with you. I think one of the main things that helps alleviate a lot of anxiety for first-time parents who are attending childbirth class is that they can see the different monitors, and we have you touch and feel all these things about labor that you're hearing about. For example, like an epidural, we actually bring you an epidural catheter, and you can touch and feel it before you were to experience that procedure. We also have certified lactation counselors that come to childbirth class. There come some of our teachers. They give a brief overview on breastfeeding. Our new class that Gwen will be teaching will talk about specifically breastfeeding, and it'll go a bit more in detail, but we do touch on breastfeeding as well. We also have a certified car seat technician, and she is able to come to class and give a presentation. And occasionally she will be available to install car seats if that is something that parents are interested in. We have a lot of time that we answer lots of questions, and we definitely have gotten feedback from parents, especially first-time parents. They feel that this is a really great way to prepare them for their first birth experience. Now, this class is not just for first-time parents. This class can be for anyone who wants to know anything about their childbirth experience and what to expect. But especially parents who have had a long time between their children will find this class helpful because times change, medicine changes, practices changes, and some people have delivered at a different hospital before. So they just want to know more about KSB. This is a great class to introduce all things childbirth, and we look forward to seeing you there.
Thank you so much, Haley, for helping our patients to understand what they can expect if they were to be considering attending a childbirth class or if they're planning on coming. It's a great class. You guys won't regret your decision to come. I want to chat with you a little bit about some of our other classes that are newer and what to expect if you've seen them offered at your provider's offices, if you've seen the flyers around and you're just wondering kind of what these classes are about, if it's something that would meet your needs. And so I kind of wanted to help answer some of those questions. The first class that I want to talk about is our breastfeeding class. So as Haley had alluded to in her chat with you guys, the breastfeeding class is going to be a little bit more in-depth information that is all evidence-based and current on breastfeeding information. So if you're not sure how you plan to feed your baby, if you are considering breastfeeding, if you have breastfed before and you just are wanting some latest information about it, if maybe you struggled the first time around and you want to try it again, this would be a great class for you to come to. I teach these classes and I am very passionate about breastfeeding and helping to meet moms where they're at with what their goal is. So my goal is not going to be your goal. And so I want to try to help all of our moms meet them and their goals when it comes to breastfeeding, no matter what those are. So no matter what your goal is, I want to provide you with evidence-based information to make the best choice that's right for you and your growing family. So you can expect to talk about breastfeeding basics, how to make milk, how to establish a milk supply. We'll go over positioning and latching and pumping. That's typically a big concern, question area for a lot of moms if they work outside of the home and they're going to be going back to work eventually. They are kind of wondering, when do I start pumping? How do I use my pump? There's so many pumps out there on the market. So we'll go through a lot of that. I want this class to be interactive, to be informal. And so if you have questions along the way, you can ask those. It will be hands-on in the sense of demonstrations from me with the use of our tools. I can get out those pump parts and show you guys the different pump parts and kind of what to expect from your pumps. And so it's a really great class. And I would encourage your support person as well to attend that class, because that's another area that they might not know a whole lot about. And they might have questions on how can they help support you during this decision and this transition period. And if you're going to be breastfeeding your baby, they might not feel like, well, I don't have anything to do with that, but there are other ways that they can support you. And we'll talk about that throughout the class. So really hope that you will consider signing up for one of those classes if that is something that could be of interest to you. The next class that I want to talk about is our sibling class. So really excited about bringing this class back. We actually used to offer sibling classes over a decade ago, and they just have kind of fallen to the wayside, but we really want to bring this back. This is a fun class for kiddos. The recommended age is like age 3 to 11, but we're not going to turn anyone away. But this is a class for that kiddo and then their parent or an adult supervisor to attend, to just learn what is it going to be like when their family is getting a new baby brother or sister. So we are going to talk about how can they help when mom is in the hospital, what to expect the room to look like, and what they might see with mom. And then we're going to talk about what is the baby going to look like. There's sometimes some things that are on a baby, like an umbilical tag, that look a little bit funny. And the baby has all these bracelets on. And why do they have those on? And so just really helping them understand what to expect. And then diapering is a big one. So if it's a littler kiddo, we want them to be a part of how to change a diaper on their stuffed animal or their baby doll that they bring, but letting them know they could maybe bring the diaper to mom or dad to help out. Talking about feelings, that's a big one with little kiddos. There's a lot of feelings that are involved in the whole household. Everybody's got a lot of feelings, but that kiddo is going to have a lot of feelings as well. So we want to talk about that and kind of how they can let mom or dad or grandma or someone know what they're feeling when their little brother or sister is home. And so that's another great class. It's short, it's just an hour, but it's really fun. They get a little graduation certificate at the end. And so I would love if you are having a baby and you have an older child and maybe they haven't gone through that before, I would love for you to consider signing them up for that class because I think they'll have a lot of fun. Now, moving on from classes, I want to talk about a couple of support options, peer-based support options that we have here at KSB. So one has been going on for a couple of years, and this group is very near and dear to my heart. I started it with a close friend a couple of years ago, and the group is growing and it's just absolutely wonderful. It's called our 4th trimester support group. And what that means is there's 3 trimesters that a mom is going through when she's in her pregnancy, but there really is that postpartum season up to a year after you're born, but we don't really hard cut off at a year, that you're in your 4th trimester. And a lot of times that's the time where there's not a lot of support for mom, and there should be. Moms need support in that season of their life. That postpartum time is very hard and it can be lonely and it can be scary. It can be fun, all of those things. And having other mothers that are going through a similar time in their life right alongside of you is just really great to kind of get together and talk about things and to be able to collaborate and just talk about things. It's very important. And so we host this group, the 4th Trimester Essentials. It's on the 2nd Friday of the month at the Dixon Public Library from 9:30 to 10:30. Other kiddos are able to come as long as everyone's healthy. We do have snacks. We do a little story time. There's a craft. And then we talk about a different education topic each month. Just a very brief topic, but this is something that we feel is very important. These topics are relevant to pregnancy and postpartum and can kind of be really good little nuggets of education to have along in your motherhood journey. The group is not just for postpartum patients. So I really encourage you to come even when you're pregnant. It can kind of help you prepare for your baby. It also helps you to maybe meet some of those other moms that are, having littles, that have just had a baby that you can kind of talk to if you have some questions like, oh, what did you use for this? Or what kind of swaddle blankets do you love? That kind of stuff can be really nice. So I hope that you would consider coming to one of our 4th trimester essential groups. I don't think that you'll regret it at all. The last group that I want to talk to you about is new. We're going to try this spring is when it starts. It's called our Moms on the Move. So this is a group that is going to head out around the community. So the locations are going to change. They are posted on the flyer, but we'll be going to various locations and just walking. So trying to move our bodies and also form that support group of other moms with littles, getting out, chatting. There'll be a little education topic again on various things throughout those little years, things that you can use and that will be beneficial to you, but more so just getting together with other moms that are in the area and just meeting people and having that network of people that become your people. So that starts in April, and we are going to do that monthly through the fall. So April through October, as long as the weather cooperates. Again, I've mentioned that these are on flyers. So these flyers you might see throughout your providers' offices. This is the 4th trimester essentials in the Moms on the Move group. On the back of this flyer, there are the different education topics that we talk about at the 4th trimester group. So you know kind of what to expect there. And then the maternity and newborn classes, so the breastfeeding class, siblings class, childbirth class, that's on a flyer that looks like this. So those are the services that we have for education classes and resources for our OB and postpartum newborn population. I really hope that these services will benefit you or a friend or a family member, and that you will check it out, share with those you know, and we hope to see you there. Have a great day.